Stuart, Jerry St. Pierre, or
Yes, sir.
however he says it with his New Orleans accent. Awesome dude. Great interview. Uh, Very practical steps on, and it actually takes a little bit of takes me through some coaching to
Yeah,
address some of my limiting beliefs. But man, it just was a unplanned snippet of how powerful self-awareness, how powerful coaching, how powerful just broadening our horizons can truly be in the context of this conversation, and also just all the amazing things that this man is doing to help and serve others. What an incredible story.
for sure, man. Yeah, you're gonna learn about the head, heart, and hand alignment, and just making this place a better world to live in. Jerry just jumps in, goes through his story, and it's an amazing journey. So don't miss it. Go listen. See you.
Go.
You're listening to Filling the Storehouse podcast. I'm David.
And I'm Stuart, and we want to walk with you on the journey to living the abundant life through faith, family, and freedom. Our goal is to refine our why while helping you find yours. Together, achieve our best and highest purpose. In the end, we'll drive each other to intentionally fill our storehouse.
All right, gents. Good morning. Great to see you, or actually, good evening for you, Jerry. You're over in Europe. This is
Good evening.
Yeah, man. We were talking before we hit record about just trying to figure out schedules and calendars and timing of living overseas and how that all works. I remember that challenge. David and I lived in Italy for a few years, and I remember those days of trying to figure it all out. But we're glad to have you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to Filling the Storehouse podcast.
Yeah, pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, David. You're looking
Hey, thank
mighty
you
fine
so
today.
much, Jerry. I appreciate it. And hey, I just really want to also thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know your first interaction with Storehouse and our podcast in general was with Stuart, and you still agreed to come on the show. So I'm just really grateful that you did that.
Hey, man, we had a great
it-
conversation. We had a
I'm
great
sure, I'm sure,
conversation.
and
It was a good
I'm sure
start.
Jerry did most of the talking. I'm sure Jerry did most of this talking.
That's
and,
that's
it was
probably true.
amazing.
That's probably true.
Hey, Jerry, tell us about you, man. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Stu.
No, I was just gonna say I do less talking and more listening. It's a good trait. You should try it.
I've never observed that from you personally. I've not seen you in that role. So that's really good. So maybe after the show, Jerry, you can tell me what it looks like when Stu actually listens.
I'll do it. I got you back.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jerry. Hey, like David started. Let's tell us about you. Give us a little bit of background about who you are and what you're doing now.
Well, I'm Jerry St. Pierre. Been married 20 years. Celebrated 20 years of marriage in November. Very grateful for that. Got
That's
three
awesome.
children. Yeah, I know we did it. Bless her heart, she did it. But I'm very grateful. We got a great marriage and three beautiful children, teenagers now. So pray for us. It's always fun, but they're good kids. They're figuring out life, and I'm blessed and honored to be their daddy and to help guide them in the course of life. So I love it. I am active duty Air Force, and I'm a chaplain in the Air Force, stationed here in Italy. And so I love what I get to do every day. It's like one big vacation, even though some days are long and not always easy. I still love it. It fills my cup every day. So I just kind of keep on driving on. And more about me. I'm a real estate investor. I've been real estate investing for over 20 years now. It's hard to believe that, but I bought my first house before I got married. I can't recall if I was 20 or 21 when I bought my first house, but I'm glad that I did. It's
awesome.
been, it is. It's cool. I'll jokingly say I bought my first house when I was in high school around age 16 when I started playing Monopoly with my then girlfriend, and we grew up very poor, very poor and impoverished. And so I remember thinking, man, if it works here, it'll work out there. And I had this mindset we played Monopoly all summer long. It was all I wanted to do was play that game. And the first chance I had to buy a house in the real world, I went for it. I got it. So we bought quite a few since then. But, so anyways, I own a property management company in Georgia that manages my portfolio there. And I'm also the president of the St. Pierre Alliance. We provide scholarships and performance coaching to students rising from adversity. And so we launched that in early 2022. And I'm thrilled and honored to say that our alliance is growing. I sent out in November, I sent out 4 award letters to students across the United States. So we're going to have 5 in our program for next year. And so we not only give them cash for college, but we give them certified credential performance coaches to walk them through their journey. They get the coaching for a whole year. And so if you know anything about hiring a performance coach or an executive coach, that's not cheap. And we bring on advanced certified coaches to help us do this. And so I'm very thankful for our coaches. It's my way of kind of giving back and making a difference. It's our way of giving back and making a difference. And we're in 2023, we're vectored for about 10,000 in scholarships for 2023. And I'll be back in the States. I'm going to take several weeks of leave to go to the States. I'm going to visit Louisiana, Tennessee, and Georgia. And I'm going to go champion the cause of the Alliance and some other endeavors that I've got going on to help make a difference in the world. And in 2023, we're formally launching the Life and Money Coach podcast. And so we've been recording in 2022 and getting everything lined up. And so I'm excited about that. It's just another platform to give away truth and love and wisdom and just give away all those things that help me break out of poverty and abuse and violence and a rough start in life to create an amazing life that I have today. There's no sales pitch. There's no, trying to get people. It's all about giving back and making a difference. All these different adventures are about giving back, both my ministry in the Air Force, the podcast, the Alliance. It's all about making a difference. So that's Jerry St. Pierre.
Is that it? I mean, you got nothing else on your plate? Yeah. That's it.
It's amazing. I'm also, I like to focus in on being a daddy and walking my children. 2 of my 3 children are adopted. Wow. And there's challenges that come with that. I adopted 1 child my senior year of college. I know looking back, that's weird. Who does that? But we did. I was married with a child when I started college. My biological child was, he was about 2 weeks old when I started college, my first day in the classroom. And my wife was a stay-at-home mom. And so we made it through 4 years of college in 3.5 years. Private school in Georgia. And we ended up adopting my second child. I went to college with his biological mother. She moved to Tennessee, found herself pregnant, and it called our church and talked to a family in the church. There's a whole story that goes with that. And said, hey, would you like to adopt this child? They prayed about that. They had been trying to have children. And they both said that baby independently prayed, came together and said, that baby doesn't belong to us. It belongs to Jerry and Misty. Go talk to them. That's interesting. I'm a senior in college. How are you going to do that? Wow. And so, I painted houses, like, interior and exterior, to make money in college. I kind of ran my own little side business there. And I was painting this guy's fence. It took me 2 weeks to professionally spray rig his fence. That should tell you how big his backyard was, okay? That was a long day every day in that guy's backyard. Well, I was in his basement. I said, Ray, thank you for the work. My wife had to have both of her ovaries removed just a few months prior, a medical emergency kind of thing. And she ended up racking up quite a few bills, and I was working to pay them off. And I told Ray, I said, thanks for the work. I'm paying off my wife's medical bills. He said, bring me your bills and I'll pay them for you.
Wow.
Didn't ask how much. Yeah, I know. I'm like, are you serious, man? I'm not a crying man, but you're gonna make me cry, And so I went home and told my wife, and people, I'm pretty sure from our church, were calling and paying bills for us, because we would call to make a payment for this bill, and it was at zero. The ambulance bill was zero. And so we're just being very blessed at this season of our lives. And so I added up the bills that were still due, and it came to around $3,000. And it was almost to the dollar the amount that the attorney in Tennessee wanted for retainer for my son. So I said, Mandy, I think God wants us to have the kid. So we'll take him. Don't put him in an agency. I'm sure to complicate everything. So we ended up paying cash for him. That's a joke. but we didn't have to borrow money or anything to finance it. We ended up paying off a private school tuition free, $60,017 and some change for tuition alone, and got through debt free at a private institution and adopted a child on the way out. I'm a very blessed man, and the blessings have been pouring in ever since. And so that's why my heart is to give back, because we've just reached a certain level of blessedness, if you will. It's just like the cup that overflows kind of thing, the storehouse that's full and can give away to others as the need is. So anyways, you got me going on the rant there. Is there anything else? It's investing in my kids who are adopted and helping to make them be blessed in their future too. So yeah.
That's a beautiful story, man. I love that. That's crazy. That's all I can say about that. It's just crazy. And it's such an amazing thing to see, because you also have a choice in all that, right? You have a choice how to look at that. You have a choice how to receive it. And some people are, I personally am not a believer in luck. I don't think luck exists. There's and if it does exist, it's because of the opportunities that you created and the ways that you set yourself in a position to receive those blessings. And what an amazing story. Now, I'm kind of curious, you allude to it in your website, which is an incredible website, talks about all the things you're doing. But I'm curious how somebody, comes from why is it that some people that come from such tough backgrounds thrive? And you talk about thriving on your website quite a bit. And then others are just trying to survive and they never get out of that mode. What is the big thing that sets those that thrive apart?
Healing the soul. Until a person takes the journey to heal the soul, they'll never thrive. And so part of my spiritual formation early on, and I didn't realize this until decades later in my mid to late 30s, was when I was on my own personal journey with God through Christ, and just that we call it in our faith community, we call it discipleship. But I wonder if that word doesn't fully capture what happened, because part of growing spiritually is dealing with the spiritual wounds of life. And that's a part of the whole discipleship conversation. And so as I would listen to, preachers like preaching or like podcasts or, radio back in the day, or read scripture, I was taking in wisdom and truth and internalizing it. And I didn't realize it, but it was actually a healing component of my life. And I began to get a vision of what my life could be. And I lacked so many skills. I lacked social skills. Oh, I was terrible with people. Oh my gosh, it was bad. I just didn't know so much. My mom, I love her dearly. She's mentally handicapped. And I was talking to my wife earlier today. I said, and so is my brother, by the way. My brother is mentally handicapped. So think short bus. I'm not knocking. I'm just painting the picture for everybody. And I used to take the short bus with my brother to get home from school to and from school. My mom arranged it. But anyways, I don't want to digress too much in that, but I didn't have a good start. My mom was mentally retarded. My brother is mentally retarded. And then there's me, the normal one, and people were taking advantage of my mom. They come in for her food stamps, Social Security check, and then, beat us along the way and hurt us, that kind of thing. And so when I rolled into my teenage years, I decided that I needed hope, and then I heard the message of Christ, and I gave my life to Christ at 14. And I didn't realize the journey I was on until in my mid 30s, where I was internalizing truth that was fixing all the wounds of my story, that I could heal, and I don't have to be a slave to my story and my past and all those things that we hear about in our faith community so often. And I began to get a vision for what my life could be like. I don't have to live like I've always lived. I can create whatever story I want. And so I started breaking free. I went to college, which was a miracle in and of itself. I had to take the ACT to get in, and I was 25 when I took the ACT. And true story, I swear, me and this dude named Levi, we both went to take the ACT at this school. They proctored it in-house. And I remember saying, dude, I didn't even know him at the time. We just met that day. I said, bro, man, I remember if in high school, they used to say, if you don't know the answer, put C, right? I didn't tell him to do it, but we both did, dude. Straight down. We were done in like 20 minutes, the whole exam. And we got in. We straight got in.
That's awesome.
And so it is, So my philosophy was, look, it's $75. That's easier than trying to learn how to do all this stuff. I'll put B next time, pay another $75, And so, but C got me in. C's get degrees. Well, C's also got me in, right?
That's
and
awesome.
him. And we both graduated.
Hey, man, that's what they say, right? When in doubt, Charlie out, right?
Charlie, that's exactly right. So I ended up getting into college and I began to invest in myself. And I knew I was so far behind from everybody else. It's like they were all smarter than me. They all knew more than me. They were all like going somewhere in life. And here was Jerry St. Pierre just stuck. I was not exactly the most employable guy. I mean, I did my own little side hustles, but I wasn't firing on all cylinders of what I could. So I went to college. My wife, she went with me. We lived on college campus. She did dishes in the bathtub for 2 years. Marrying right will determine whether or not you have success in life or not.
That's good.
You marry right and you'll thrive. You marry wrong, it's a big headache, and that ain't worth it. But I married right, and she went with me on this journey when I was a messy person. Not messy as in like, destructive behavior, but I had no real vector. I didn't have a father to like raise me. I didn't have a good education. My uncle was homeless. Lived in the woods. My mom's mentally, delayed and retarded, third grade education today. I didn't have a good start, but I knew I needed to like do something about that. And God knows my core GPA in high school was 1.2 core GPA. And the only reason I know that is because the college ordered my transcripts from high school. I said, why you need that? They said, well, for potential scholarships. I said, I ain't getting no scholarship. I started laughing. He said, well, we need them for FERPA, federal education, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so he gets my transcripts and he calls me. I never forget, it's at my wife's mom and dad's house at the time. The phone rings. He said, hey, Jerry, we got your transcripts. I said, yeah. He goes, may I recommend you start off with one class? I said, well, why is that? He goes, well, your core GPA in high school is it's so funny, 1.2. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, well, what is full time? Because I might not be book smart, but I'm pretty money smart. And I know full time gets me full time financial aid from the government and Pell Grants. And I need all the money I can get. So we're going to do that, right? In between 12 and 18 hours is the same price. So if I can get another class, it's free. We're going to play these cards like it's a poker game. And I'm going to win something. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
So I ended up taking 4 classes, graduated top of the class. I had a 3.89 GPA. And that was, I'll tell you, this was funny too. I'm talking about the healing journey, okay? And like getting my life on the other side of the trauma to where I can thrive. This is all part of the story. I remember it was graduation day and I'm in the rows of the graduates, and the guys up there talk about the valedictorian is the person who womp, womp, womp. You know how they do, right? Well, I'm always cutting up. Just Jerry St. Pierre. I'm always having fun. So I like lean over to the guy next to me. I don't remember who it was. Said, so who do you think it is? So I'm like going down like the row. And yes, she's a nerd. This is what I'm doing. And they call my name. I'm like shocked. I'm like, me? I am the valedictorian. No way. I get up there. You should see my picture in the paper. I thought it was like my face says this has got to be a joke, right? But no joke. I had a 3.89, got out, went to graduate school, went to seminary. Now, that journey took place for 2 reasons. 1, I knew I was behind. And 2, I sensed deep in my soul I had to go get educated and that my life had a bigger sense of purpose and meaning than what I was living. I knew there was more for me. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it would look like, but there was more. That God had his hand on my life for something else than where I was. And Lord only knows, if it wouldn't have been for God, I swear I would not have ever signed up to go to college based on my story. I was not qualified.
Yeah.
And if it wouldn't have been for remembering, they said that put C, or I would have tried B, but if that didn't work, who knows, but in that journey of getting educated, I got to hang around people who were healthier in life, people who were role models for me, people I could look and say, one day I could see me being more like that, like people who I could kind of exemplar after, you know what I mean? And it took me on a journey of healing my wounds, of getting educated, of quote, catching up to everybody. And I think I just kind of kept going afterwards. Like I got in this stride. I'm like, yeah, this is like you get in that third mile, fourth mile. You're like, oh, now you get that second one. I think I just kind of kept going. And I don't want, feel free to chime in, but I'll give you a couple more insights on this journey of from surviving to thriving. I was 37 years old or 36. I can't recall. I need to go back and do some mental math on that. But it was around January 4th or 5th. I'm active duty. I'm Air Force. I'm chaplain. I'm in Massachusetts. It's bright and early. The sun is not up. I'm getting ready for work. I'm in the shower of all places. And out of nowhere, I bust out in tears and I cry so hard in that shower. I wasn't in therapy. I wasn't in any kind of counseling. I wasn't in reading any kind of books or nothing to do self-work. I cried so hard and I uttered the words out of my mouth, why did nobody protect me? And it was like, it took me 36 years to get to the place where what was deep in my soul finally got out. And I didn't even know I was on the journey of letting it out. But looking back, I can see it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And so now, and that kind of brought closure to all the wounds. The deep-seated pain got out because of this journey of formation that God took me on that I didn't even know I was on, preparing me for who I am today, to shape me. And so now that I've healed those wounds, it took me about another year and a half to realize what had happened. And now it's like, okay, now that I have gotten unbent out of shape, as I like to call it, meaning I'm in the natural shape the way God wired me for life, okay, without all the negative brokenness of my story significantly hindering my ability to express that to the world, right? Still broken. I'm not perfect, but at least my shape is the way it's mostly supposed to be, right? And it's kind of like your thumbprint, you have your own thumbprint. Well, I think spiritually we have a natural shape to us, right? So now it's how do I give myself to the world well? And so I raise adopted children. I raise my own children. I've got the Life and Money Coach podcast, got the St. Pierre Alliance giving scholarships. We've reached financial independence. I'm thankful for the work that I do, but if I lost my job today, we would just go do something else. We wouldn't stress at all about it, to see that the journey I took, I kind of kept the same pace up until now. And without sounding kind of braggadocious, I feel like I've kind of outran everybody I thought I was trying to catch up to. You know what I mean? When you're on the track and you lap somebody, like, wait a minute, you was in front of me. How'd that happen? And it's not a bragging thing. It's just a statement of fact of like, here's where I'm at in life. And it's like, well, snap, I need to go back and get those guys now. You know what I mean? While keeping my pace, because I've realized I got a lot I can do in life. And so now it's how do I reach back and reach forward at the same time? And that's 2023. And I'll tell you what it looks like in 2024, I guess. All right. Awesome. I did a lot of talking. That's the story of healing.
Hey, like we said, man, the more you talk, the less David does, the better this podcast is going to be. So, I love it, man. And, David and I have been kind of on this journey of figuring out, what the Storehouse Mastermind looks like. We started it, about a year ago and we've been, really trying to pour into men. And one of the things that we've identified is, I think there are a lot of, and let's talk about men here. I think there are a lot of men that are just on this hamster wheel of life, of this thing called life.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't do what you just talked about. Like they don't find this purpose. Like they don't find this meaning. They don't find this God that calls them to do the work and to not only strive forward, but also be reaching back and bringing people along. And they're just searching for more power, more money, more more stuff, right? And they never find happiness. And there's this book called The Meaning of Life by Viktor Frankl, and he talks about this existential vacuum that people get into, and they never find happiness because there's no meaning in their life.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, after you have explained this journey you've been on, why do you think that is? Why are there so many people right now on today's journey that never find this?
I think a lot of them can't see. They just can't see. It's like, Jesus said, let the blind lead the blind.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking about blind people, like physically blind. That was not physically blind people he was talking about.
Right.
It's like there's another scripture that says, let those who have ears to hear, hear. It's not like we don't all have ears, but not everybody can hear. You see what I'm saying, right? It's like, I got eyes, but what can't I see? I got ears, but what can't I hear? And until we come awaken to the fact that we have eyes that can't see and ears that can't hear, we'll never start seeking. And unless you seek, you won't find. So sometimes I think we just can't see what's right in front of us, the opportunities. We can't see ourselves, our natural shape, our natural bent, as I like to call it. We can't see ourselves being millionaires. Oh, a millionaire, that's a lot of money. Well, why not? I mean, why not? Why not be a millionaire? Why not 10 million? Why not 20 million? Why not? But literally, why not? Right? I can't go do anything significant in the world. I don't know. Well, why not? Why can't you change somebody? Who says you can't change somebody's life? Like, who says you can't start something that'll impact the world in a positive way? Look who runs and gets to be our president. Look at those people. They as broken, jacked up as you are. The difference is they're sitting in the president's seat. You're not, and I'm not.
Right.
Right? At least they went for it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you have to be able to see what's in front of you. And a lot of that's a spiritual journey. It's a heart condition where the heart has to be awakened and alive enough to stir the mind and the eyes, the physical eyes, to look around to the physical world and see what could be in that space with you. It's bringing the condition of the heart out, and we use the vision of our mind and our eyes and our reasoning to look around us and say, how can I express what's deep within inside of me out there in the real world? And then our hands are the, metaphorically speaking, head, heart, hands, alignment, as I like to call it. Our hands are the technical skills it takes to actually get there, right? So you have to actually do something. So I want isn't really good enough. It's I will, right? And so I talk about soul autonomy and soul responsibility and soul identity, SOUL. Soul autonomy is that which I want, so much so that I will to do it. Because I think we all want things in life, but we will not do certain things to get it, right? So when the want goes deep enough, it becomes the I will statement. But you often hear it said, I want. The I want is a whisper of what the I will is deep inside of us. So everyone says, well, I don't want that. Hey, why didn't you bring this up? Well, I didn't want to, whatever it might be. I didn't want to, be embarrassed, or I didn't want to, cause strife. I didn't want, whenever you hear the I want statement, it ties into the condition of the heart. It's a spiritual thing. And it's the soul autonomy piece, meaning I own the right to do what I want to do. And I choose to exercise that and not do what I don't want to do. Soul autonomy, right? We call it freedom in modern speak. I'm just putting new terms to the soul construct. And so when the soul wants it, all of a sudden the mind and the eyes are awakened to start looking around to see it. The amygdala, we're biologically primed to find what we're looking for, right? Jesus put it this way, he said, if you seek me, you'll find me if you seek me with your whole heart, right? Why? We're biologically primed to find what we seek. We have a whole amygdala section, like somewhere right up in there, further in though, to that part of your brain, that when you call something like say you buy a new Corvette and all of a sudden you see Corvettes everywhere. Well, it's not like they just showed up all of a sudden, right? Why? We're biologically primed to find what we're looking for. And it's not just true when it comes to Corvettes, it's true for our purpose, our meaning, and the reason we're alive.
It's good.
But we have to be able to see and to look.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was walking this morning, and completely coincidentally, but I said a prayer. I said, God, give me eyes that see, give me ears that hear, give me a heart that loves, a mind that is open to abundance and opportunity, and a soul and a spirit that seek you. And it was interesting because it was very meaningful. And I remember exactly where I was walking this morning with the dog. It was freezing and I could see my breath. But the reason why I said that prayer was in the moment, for whatever reason in my thoughts, and Stu and I have been talking about this a lot lately, is that I know for a fact that we are surrounded, specifically, when we're looking at business opportunities and ways more specifically to add value. I know we are surrounded by opportunities that we do not realize.
Oh yeah.
And that we do not know. And I also know that for me personally, there's a level of depth of relationship with Jesus that I desire.
Yeah.
That also I want it to permeate my family, my household, my children, my wife.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, what you said, and what I love about it is that it is there. We just simply have to be willing to reach out and grab it and to live it and to hold our hands like this, to receive blessing and to give blessing.
Oh yeah.
But so many of us are just not willing to go for it. But it's not even that, it's because we don't believe it's there. And one of the most formative things, I think, and I don't know, my mind's always, I would often, going into a new job, be overwhelmed slightly, like going to the Naval Academy, overwhelmed, going to flight school, overwhelmed, going to be a commanding officer, overwhelmed. But the one thing that always calmed me down is I thought about all the people before me that have done all those things. And it's really not that like crazy. Like there are a lot of people that have done these things. And so there's no reason why we can't. And to your point, there's nothing. There are a lot of 20 millionaires out there. There are a lot of 100 millionaires out there. And they're not more special than you and I. They're just not.
No. Yeah.
And so it's a very interesting mindset that you bring up, because I think even in spite of those prayers and that mindset, I still have significant self-limiting beliefs and things that I'm doing to myself. And so if you could just give me a free coaching right now and help me get past that, that'd be great.
Well, I am a performance coach and we can do that. Let me ask you a question. What would you say is your number one limiting belief?
I think it's just the fact that, and kind of like we were just talking about, this prayer was very profound for me this morning, but it's just realizing that it's all, I think the limiting belief is not acknowledging that it's all right there. That the efforts that we put forth, and I think people give up too quickly. So I've recently been just really trying to fight the discouragement of whatever it is, say, putting this effort and we're having a hard time filling a house, say, within the mastermind, hypothetically, but then shifting that mindset and be like, man, recently I've shifted my mindset. Like, I feel bad for the dudes that are not in the mastermind. That's now where I live, because they're missing out on the blessing of these amazing group of men. And so I think it's just working through the discouragement of not seeing the immediate result of these blessings that I know are there. And so it causes there to be a ceiling or a self-doubt. Because if I was better, then there would be no delay, right? Which is that's a lie.
So in one sentence, what is the limiting belief?
My business partner is what it was. I'm just kidding.
Come on, man.
No. In one sentence, that I personally am not the leader that would attract people to this impact that we're trying to make.
So the limiting belief is that I am not the man for the job, to state it another way.
Yeah. That's right.
It's interesting. Are you the man for the job?
What's interesting is I feel emotion when you say that. Like, this podcast is completely flipped, but I feel emotion when I said that and you reiterated it, it like brought tears to my eyes, because I think it's potentially deeper rooted, because there's a confident side of me that's very much, yes, I am that guy. But I think it's much deeper rooted that false confidence has not allowed me to acknowledge that. The depth of that self-doubt in being the man that was called to do this job.
So are you the man for the job?
I am the man for the job. Well, Stuart and I are the men for the job.
So I want to point out something. I asked the question, I summarized what you said, and I summarized it by basically saying, I don't think I'm the man for the job. And I had asked you to respond to that. I said, why not? And then you took quite a few sentences in there. So I came back to say, so are you the man for the job? He says, I am the man for the job. Did you catch the dynamic what just happened there? Right? It could have just been, I am the man for the job. There was this journey. And then you said, well, there was a lot of emotion that came out with that. And you started wrestling through that emotion. And then I circled back and said, so are you the man for the job? Just the same question again. And you said, I am the man for the job. So there was a lot that happened in that 1.5 minute clip. And it's right there in that 1.5 minute clip where work needs to be done with you, so that you can get rid of that clip and just go to I'm the man for the job and keep going. See that?
That's awesome. Yeah.
So the question is, I mean, however much you want to go, what work did you just do in that minute soundbite that you said I experienced a lot of emotion, I teared up, I got this deep down, I feel confident, but sometimes I felt like you just had this whole dialogue with yourself. But that right there is what work needs to be done. And that's what a coach would, let's pull that out and deal with that.
No, that's rad. That's awesome. And I think you highlight, I think it's what's critical and something that Stu and I talk about all the time is that level of allow yourself to go through that.
Oh, that's the key.
Seeking the self-awareness to try to, and you highlight another thing that is absolutely critical. And I think the dynamic worked out beautifully, but it is the impact that coaches can have and the investments we should be making and willing to make to get past these things, because the blessing on the other side is way more than whatever the investment is up front from a monetary perspective.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You said a statement, you led with a statement and then you pivoted, but I want to go back to the statement because I'm still in coach mode for just a moment. We have to allow ourselves to go through that. You remember that statement there? What is that you were referring to?
I think that I was referring to in the moment is there is a that we all have, and you can easily not touch that. You can go through life and never touch that, and you can still be relatively successful, quote unquote successful. But I truly believe until you touch those that's, and there's many that's, and for me, one that is self-doubt, right? There's a lot of other that's there. But every time you address that, you're able to move beyond it and climb a little higher.
So
you're
what
going to
I'm
still
hearing
go back to it, right? But there's always going to be those things. And that's what I meant by that, is that just addressing them.
So what I'm hearing you say is, hey, you're a coach. Coach me for just a minute. I deal with self-doubt. I don't feel like I'm good enough. How should we handle that? We talked for a few minutes, and then you said, well, the way to handle that is you have to go through that and allow that to be and experience that. And that is how you get through that, whatever that is. Did you follow all that?
Yeah. There's a lot of that.
But did you see your answer? I was having fun with the verbiage, but did you see your answer? Allow yourself to go with that as you do what you're confident in doing. And that's how you overcome it.
Yeah.
You gave a beautiful answer. Whatever that is, you have to allow yourself to go through that, to experience that. There's your answer. So keep the insecurity, but keep going.
Well, I think acknowledging it too, right?
We
all have it.
And
stand up in front of the whole,
having the courage to be vulnerable.
Yeah. I am feeling very insecure in front of all of you right now. And they all laugh. Ha, 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 ha. You're just being honest. No, I am very insecure. I am scared. The butterflies are in my stomach right now. Let's continue. Right? I mean, think about the folks who run for president. It's the same thing. You get on that platform and CNN and Fox and everybody's there to interview you. The whole world is watching what you're going to say. And the spotlight is on you. I promise you, there are butterflies in their stomach. They're nervous as can be. They're all, it's a rig, but they do it anyway. That's the key. You're aware, this is what I'm experiencing, but I will go anyway. It's just like when the peace of God comes in that surpasses all understanding. Yes, I have my fear, but I got the peace of God with it. We're going to keep going. I don't get it, but we're going to drive on, right? So we are okay with our brokenness because we have a calling and purpose beyond our brokenness. And we need to keep going towards that. And eventually we'll become okay with our brokenness, so our brokenness doesn't affect us nearly as much as it does.
It's good, man. I didn't know this was going to be a coaching session. This is great. I like it.
Fun.
It is fun. Hey, yeah. I want you to talk about your scholarship and the Resiliency Scholarship, the St. Pierre Alliance. I think it's awesome what you're doing. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but let's dive into that a little bit deeper because you're making a difference, man. And I think it's amazing.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. So the St. Pierre Alliance consists of members across the United States and really the world now that we basically put in money every month. Okay. So it's automatically just through your credit card, debit card, goes into a bank account. And then as we collect money, we award scholarships for students. The students are students who are a lot like Jerry St. Pierre. They've had some adversity in their life that they've had to overcome. They're on the journey. They need help financially to get where they need to be. And so we find them, they got the right spirit and the right attitude. And we can kind of read that they write a letter applying for the scholarship. And so as we read the letter, you can kind of read between the lines. Like one of our letters said, this is not a between the line. She says, who would have ever thought that I would be at the University of California studying marine biology? That right there told me everything. I told my wife, that she's getting a scholarship, period. I don't care what all the ones we get, because she's grateful and she is impressing herself. Who would have ever thought I'd be here? Wow. That's the one we look for. And so we read their letters. So we're in different high schools that students can apply for, through their schools, through the universities, on university websites. We're wanting to grow our platform to some more universities across the states. But anyways, so the people come in and it's open to anybody who wants to be a part of the Alliance, by the way. Just go to the stpieralliance.com and just click get involved and you can become a member. But it's $50 a month minimum. Some come in 100, some couple hundred. It varies, just minimum $50. We put the money in, then we find these students, then we bring them in, we award them the scholarship, and we bring them to a summit. We do summits once a year. The next one will probably be in June. I'd love to have you guys come visit us at the summit, by the way. It's
That'd be
virtual.
awesome.
It's free. Everybody comes. I'm gonna have a panel discussion this year with some panelists. We have all the members, guests. We present the scholarships to the student in front of family and friends that they can invite them. So it's virtual, but it's a public deal. And then we have our performance coaches there. They make a few comments. We partner with their coaches. And then they get, just like kind of happened here, they get that for a year, that coaching session for a year to help them break through barriers that's holding them back. Isn't that cool? And the coaches are at no charge to the student. Our coaches currently do that at no charge, even though they could be charging. As we grow our income base, I eventually want to start paying our coaches. Right now, they do it because they're like me. We do it for fun. But I do want to be able to pay our coaches at some point. But the motto of the St. Pierre Alliance is we create success stories. That's the motto. It's on our shirts. It's everywhere. So that's the St. Pierre Alliance in a nutshell. We step in. We don't give handouts. We give hand-ups. It's on our website. So you go read the stpierrealliance.com, click on scholarship. It says you're looking for a hand-up, not a handout. We're very specific about that. And we have one student about to graduate this year from Mississippi State. And so we're excited to help her launch into the big world. And I'm sure her coach is going to be very busy as she makes that transition. So that's the St. Pierre Alliance in a nutshell. And it's cool. It's just a cool gig, man. It's cool.
I love the coaching aspect of that, because I think when you talk about the investment and what they're really getting, I mean, that's priceless. That's priceless.
Yes.
Because they could potentially, I mean, for a year to be able to get that intensive level, breaking through barriers, could open doors that the money will never open, which is absolutely incredible. That's what a cool aspect of the program. I love that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
No, man. Hey, I just looked at the time and I'm like, man, we could go for hours and we want to honor your time. We're getting close to the hour, but hey, I just want to really affirm you right now as well. Just, the heart that you have, it's very clear. But what I absolutely love about what you're doing is, the heart, the prayer, the relationship is all very good, but it's the action, action driving towards doing something that will inevitably grow, but it's an investment in others. And I absolutely love that you're doing that. And, I've said this to a number of our guests, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You're making a huge impact here, but the true measure will be, you're going to get that reward in heaven, because there's people that you're touching, that you're impacting, that people potentially hear this podcast and me getting coached up, that impacts them and helps them to break through something. You'll never see that impact until the job well done, my good and faithful servant. So keep it up, dude. I love it.
Hey,
it's so awesome.
Thank you.
Love to be a part of the summit and the things that you guys are doing. It's great.
Yeah. We'll be glad to have you. You can go to the stpierrealliance.com and learn more about the summit there. You can go to jerrystpierre.com to learn more about me and what I'm doing. And now the lifeandmoneycoach.com for the podcast. Of course, it's going to launch January 1 or first couple weeks in January. So it'll be on all the major platforms. So, thank you guys for allowing me to be on your show and what you guys are doing. I love what you're doing with Storehouse Ministry. It's a ministry is what it is. It really is a ministry, whether you call it that or not. And when I sat down and kind of dug through everything on that, I'm proud of you. I think it's great. Keep it up. And if it's coming from within you, you are the man for the job. Let the insecurities stay as long as they want to, but you don't stop. That's how that works.
Jerry, this is awesome, man. I really appreciate you coming on. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I want to have more of them. You beat me to the punch for asking where everyone can get in touch with you. So I love that. And we'll put all of your websites in the show notes. Hey, guys and gals, Jerry's the real deal, man. Like he's the real deal, and he's out there making an impact in this world to better this place. So join him, help us spread his message, share this episode. That's what you can do for us, is share this episode, get involved with what Jerry's doing, and let's make this better place together. And let's go fill the storehouse all together. David? Over to you,
awesome. Man. Hey, Jerry, thank you. And hey, friends, make it a great day. Take some action.
Take action. See ya.
See ya.
David, I don't know about you, but I'm like ready to go take on the world. How about you?
100%, man. I got a little emotional in there, and I think it was really because we have such, to your point, we have such big desires, big dreams to add so much value, impact, see men grow. And Jerry is just the manifestation of the embodiment of somebody who is pursuing their passion and making a difference, making an impact, adding value, serving others, and just totally had me fired up, man.
Yeah. I think, we talked about it on the show, but there's a lot of opportunity right in front of us. And all we need to do is open our eyes, open our ears, and dive into who we are and truly find the meaning of our lives and what God made us for. And we're really set on that inside the Storehouse Mastermind. We are helping men become the hero of their journey. We're helping men find that meaning, find that passion. And there's way more to life than just like, the quote unquote successful ladder that we climb up of money and stuff and things and power and, wealth. Right. And it's been a journey, but it's been incredibly fulfilling. And we'd love for more men to come and jump on board with us. People can go to storehouse310.com/mastermind and join us. Become the hero of your journey. Find that meaning, find that purpose, and it's an amazing ride.
It's all about taking action. It's about taking action, and sometimes we need other people to speak into our lives on the actions that we know that we should take, and sometimes we don't know. Yep. Someone speaks into your lives and completely unlocks a path, an avenue, an action, a thing, an impact, and it's extremely powerful and very empowering and helps us to get to our purpose. So
that's right.
Good podcast, dude. Good
Sir,
podcast.
come join us. See you.
See ya.